Welcome back to Kamen Rider Review, episode number 99. Yes, the very next episode is the 100th episode of this review series. That only started just last year, and I'm working episode 100 already. So this one is discussing episodes 3 through 6 of Kamen Rider Black. Yep. In these 4 episodes, in the case of episode number 3, which is called Strange Cyborg. So, they come up with an ingenious plan to try to eliminate Kamen Rider Black. So, the female member of the priest decided to summon the Silkworm. Yep, the Silkworm. That's your monster for this episode, and this thing kidnaps people off a train. One of 2 episodes where people are taken out of a freaking train. The other just happened in episode 6 of all things. Yes, seriously. Except it's a group of people, though a kid managed to survive, though Kamen Rider Black managed to save him. And then we see some really weird ideas this one, like having the Bat Mutant lift up a part of a freaking building. One of those spinning restaurants. I believe it was in this very episode, this thing even brought down a freaking satellite dish. Yes, seriously. So, the whole thing is bring him here, this tunnel, to supposedly kill him off. And, well, he doesn't die because he's here for the rest of the series. I gotta admit, the whole Silkworm thing was an interesting idea. It's actually something that I would not expect them to do, but here we go. Yeah, and also in one of the episodes, I believe it's episode 5, we have Black actually fighting one of the bats. Apparently there's like a whole group of them. He actually defeats one of them, and he doesn't kill them per se. Nope. But this episode of 3 was really good. In the case of episode number 4, The Devil's Laboratory, which has a return of a professor who had not been seen in quite a while. Also, there's a guest in this episode. I was kind of surprised to see him. It was Yukita Hiroshi, who had just appeared previously in the show Flashman. Yep, this is actually this is the very first series, this very first franchise I've seen outside of Super Sentai, because he's been Flashman, Liveman. I believe he also appeared in Jetman as well. I was kind of surprised to see him. Apparently he also appears in Middle Heroes as well, but he appears in like single episodes of that. But in the case of Super Sentai, well, yeah, and by the way, the guy's still very much alive. This actually, here's the strange thing though. This was not his first franchise he appeared outside of Super Sentai. He did appear in one of the Metal Hero series. This actually is the sole appearance here, one of 2 appearance times he made appearance in Kamen Rider. He would appear again to Kamen Agato, which is going to be the same time the Kamen Rider I'm going to do after do Black and Black RX. Yeah, it's interesting the fact he appeared in a couple series. He appeared a lot of time in Super Sentai. Apparently his first time he appeared in Sentai was an episode of Bioman as a thug. He appeared in Changeman for 2 episodes. He appeared in Jasmine, which I will be going to that one soon. Of course, he was in Flashman. Of course, we'll talk about his appearance here in Kamen Rider Black. Live Man. Talk about Westbecker. He was in that one too. I will be getting to that one in the future. Jetman. I've worked that already. Really good to see. He did a really good job in that one. Cyber and Real Hero series. We'll get to that in the future. Die Ranger Jane Motsuba, which I think was his last. I believe it was his last series. He was a regular in, because apparently he also appeared in Chenjaman, which is a completely different franchise altogether. Yeah, as one of the main, I think he appeared as one of the main villains. Yeah. Yeah, he appeared as one of the villains in that one. Yeah, he likes playing villains. And this one, it seems like, okay, let's have him turn into a freaking werewolf for an episode. Yes, and done by the Mad Doctor, who actually does return at this episode. Yes. And apparently he was in... Oh yeah, by the way, the guy who plays this Mad Doctor, he was Ultra himself. Shin Hydra. Well, his host anyways. Though he is going to return, don't worry about it. He appears like 3 more times, and like that's it. Yeah, this episode that was pretty interesting. I liked it. In episode number 5, this one features a character. Probably the monster was a goat. Last one was basically a flea monster. Yes. This goat one features a goat, which apparently is like a cult-like thing. It seems some with a devil worship. Now, the character person in this episode is apparently the only person that Kikyo has actually told the new number. And apparently the number is written on her driver's license. And this is the only person she's ever told. Now, I'm quite surprised Goldblum is not getting her hands on her to find that information. And to my knowledge, I don't think she appears again after this episode. I think she's just here as a guest star. It is interesting, though, the fact that this one driver's license had it on there. When I'm looking at the picture, it seems like it's not a plastic one like the one I've got. This seems like a paper one, but probably still respected over there. And it's like the whole thing like take over a village. Now, the whole thing about a Kamen Rider villain would take up a whole village. This is also something they've done once before. And I believe this is also a trope they use in Super Sentai as well. Now, who was the last villain organization to do this? I think it may have been... Let me think here. It may have been Neo Shocker was the last time I can think of. Yes. This was a very interesting episode, though it is reminiscent of an old Kamen Rider episode, but still good nonetheless. I'm not really thinking of the code aspect in this one. This next one is called, the last one is called The Clairvoyance Mystery. That's episode 6. The whole thing with this one is that we have these artists, your upcoming or basically current artists, or they're just basically kidnapped by this mysterious doctor. Also, their politician who works for Golem returns this episode. First time since episode 3. Yes. Who is this guy? A guy by the name of Sakata. Sakatia. Yeah, he's a politician who works with him. Yeah, and after this, he appears 2 more times after this. And that's it. I don't know if he appears in the next episode. I have no idea. There is someone who returns in the next episode. Well, I won't get to it right now, but it is interesting, though. We have this recurring villain. And as soon as Black sees him... By the way, Black has not seen this guy since episode 2. He's like, what are you doing here? He knows exactly who he is. And I'm glad the fact Black is written the fact that he does recognize somebody immediately because he met him just prior to becoming Kamen Rider Black. So, yeah, he knows the fact this guy is no good. So, and of course he had to fight some doctors, and also the fact this monster's episode is a freaking eagle. And the weird thing about this episode, we have this girl who witnessed the whole thing, one of the abductions, who was apparently her boyfriend, who then later hypnotized to try to have her commit suicide, and the politician was smiling at that. A girl committing suicide. Yeah, shows the fact this guy is a crooked politician. Of course he is. Yeah. Didn't really care for that character, but this episode I thought was a really interesting idea. Using ESP for an episode. As far as I can tell for Kamen Rider, this is the first time I can think of they ever use ESP. And still, the one more thing I really love with the series is the visuals. Like, this show looks still really good. I mean, there was a shot in like the opening episode that looked too good. It looked like an age robot. A lot of the show still looks really good. And can you believe the show only aired back in like these episodes only aired back in late 1987, roughly almost 36 years ago, and it looks this good? Yeah. Well, I've seen it anyways. Yep. So yeah, that's it. Particular review. Next up is going to be Martial Magic and Muscles, and if I get time, it will be Bleach. Okay, next video. Bye.